Hello, Adi. So, before going there, I would like to start by thanking you for the very kind invitation to participate in this amazing podcast with very interesting audience and obviously with great topics, artificial intelligence and data science, which I'm truly passionate about. So, who am I? My name is Luis Moreira Matias. I'm originally from Porto, Portugal, and I'm working on artificial intelligence R&D and applications to different business verticals, including transport, energy, and finance, for more than 10 years. So, educationally, I hold a master's on software engineering and a PhD on machine learning and AI. And during my career, I've led, managed, and hired more than 20 AI scientists and engineers with success, machine learning driven business cases and histories from Latin America to Asia. During this path, I was fortunate enough to have gathered some recognition. So I've won some awards, and some former colleagues of mine also won some awards with their work. And I also have the media featuring some of my work during this time, and which I then also use together with my experience in regular keynotes that I give about AI and data science around the globe. Currently, I'm head of data science at Monedo, a financial institution based in Germany, but with presence in multiple countries, where I'm leading a team of 10 Braves, building, maintaining, and 100% human free, so AI based personalization engine for credit underwriting, consumer credit underwriting, um, that is able to, in a window of 60 seconds, make decisions like should we grant a loan to this customer or not, or which amount should we grant, which interest should we offer, and so on, without having any human in the loop on making these decisions, having without a human needing to do a single click. And by doing so, we this company have done as already some years, and using this business model has been able to disburse 600 million euros so far, only using an AI-based approach to address the credit underwriting problem. So, Monedo embraces AI on its value proposition since it was born. Obviously, credit underwriting and risk assessment is in its core, but being so tech savvy, data science savvy, and AI savvy company from the start, turned out that there were many different applications throughout the years. What I'll do, I'll try to give you a snapshot of some applications that me and my team have tackled recently, and some of the methods that we have been using and extending and developing to these applications. So applications like credit risk assessment, where I talked, affordability prediction, so to understand how much a customer can pay, for instance, on a monthly installment for a loan. Also, bank transaction labeling, so to understand when we have a bank transaction and some description, to understand that this description is related to a mortgage, is related to an ATM withdrawal, is related to gambling, for instance, or also some home appliance purchase, such as a TV or an electricity bill, right? So also things a bit more exotic, such as fraud prevention, okay, fraud detection, fraud prevention, to understand if so and to have anti-money laundering schemas, or also to understand if there is identity fraud somehow. Also, we try to label rejected credit applications. We try to understand which would be the behavior of the consumers if we had granted a certain loan to them that we didn't. This is known in scientific community as the reject inference problem. Also to do marketing campaigns and KPI forecasts, so to understand which are the customers that we should target, or to understand which the default rates will look like in 2 months, for instance. And to tackle these problems, we use a lot of stuff. So supervised learning, classification, regression, survival analysis with linear regression, and also decision tree based ensembles, such as random forest or gradient boosting. We also use a lot of semi-supervised learning frameworks like self-learning, unsupervised learning, like k-means for clustering or isolation forest for outlier detection. And a bit of artificial neural networks alpha for natural language processing. It's important to me, on an answer to a question like this, to say that there is no free lunch, right? Meaning that there is no method or method type, such as deep learning, that will be the best solution for all your data or AI problems. So the data that you collect and store, how you store it and how you can retrieve it later on, how you formulate your problem or your use case, and finally, how you choose to solve it, is still the key to obtain AI enhanced software pieces that add good value to your business. Some tips to get there safely would be to have a strong software engineering team, strong foundations on software, and professional data scientists, so people that have hardcore formation on data science and not just an online formation or just curiosity. Not that people, professionals like this, cannot perform, but there is a higher unreliability on the the quality of things that they will develop. And this is important that these data scientists, professional data scientists, are open to understand the business. So are people that are not only want to understand the data on their computer, but are open to understand the business, are open to get their hands dirty, and are open to talk, to get input from domain experts when both building and operationalizing their AI models. Okay, so and I wish you luck, obviously, on doing that, on finding such people. Well, that's a very good question, Adi. Very good question. So I would say yes, it can, and no, it cannot. First, it's important to state that I think there are a series of steps to give before you can call yourself an AI-driven company. Firstly, it's very important that you are a company that is digital driven. Okay, that you have your, so the data about your business is digital and recorded digitally. Most of it, and we'll say most of it, let's say 80% or 90%, and it's recorded in some sort of computer. Your employees resort to some sort of computer to do so, are computer literate persons, and resort to some sort of computer, honor their daily business. This is an absolute baseline. Then the second, and I think it is when most of the companies stump, is you have to become data driven. So it's not enough anymore to 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 have this old approach to management, where we have a long-term plan and we have waterfall type of planning, where you decide things. Then sometimes, even when you need to do something on short term, you decide by instinct. This is not enough. So right now you have to leverage on the data that you are collecting throughout your digitalization, that is the base, to take decisions, okay, to challenge decisions and plans and suggestions that others can make. Okay, this will turn you to be more aware of the consequences of the choices that you are making, and also more productive in the end, right? So because you are always getting to the point, and not letting yourself to be subjective, or act in terms of beliefs that don't correspond to reality. And only then you will be able to be machine learning driven first, where instead of taking decisions based on data, you have models that suggest these decisions to you, such as this customer should take a loan or not. We should recommend this product X and product Y to that customer. Um, and then, where you are fully AI driven, where there is completely no human in the loop, and you have these humanless enterprise or intelligent enterprise, that your business is completely automated. So I think that most of the companies are struggling between step two and step three. Nowadays, I believe digital revolution for most of the businesses uh, was already in the past, and if not, they are companies are struggling already. But to give these steps can be harder than it looks. Okay, and this is not for specific for large corporations or small startups. There is a lot of resistance on the mindset. There is a lot of mistrust on technology that you need to 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 come above, to pass through. Okay, so consequently, I believe that yes, there are many companies that may be able to go all the way in different timelines, obviously, but they will do. And obviously, that also depends on how fast and secure they can achieve these steps. And at the same time, I believe no, because many of these companies are not ready to think differently, and they will be overplayed, either acquired or bankrupt at some time by not doing so. Okay, by its more modern competitors. So I believe that in many businesses, consolidation on large tech savvy corporations and or bankruptcies will be a natural consequence of this AI race. And I think that's normal. Okay, that's normal, because some type of jobs will stop. Well, Adi, I believe at the short term, yes, that AI will have more impact on certain companies. You can feel already, for instance, in retail, that AI is changing the way business is made. And it's from supply chain to customer experience, passing by customer care. You really are not happy of just going down your local store all the time to see if they have a shoe that fits you, or to discover if they even have it in stock, or to wait 4 days or 1 week for them order it in stock. No, you want to have this information in your smartphone. You want to order and you have it delivered at your house. This is more natural. I also believe that there are some business verticals. This is based on my experience, such as that are highly regulated businesses, such as drug makers and healthcare industry, which may also experience a slower adoption of AI. But in the end, I believe that it will impact all of us and all the companies. Okay, I believe that AI will work as an extension of all of us humans, and its impact will be transversal to all society, business and persons alike. Well, here definitely not, right? So naturally, data is gold. Data is very important, and nowadays when you create a company, it's very important that you have not only a product strategy. So typically in when you create a company, you want to see what's market size, right? So you have a strategy, how which is the cost of creating your product, which is the cost of distributing it, how you reach, which is who is your customer, this type of things. And now you also have to have a data strategy, how you collect data, and how and when you monetize this data down the road with data-driven solutions, with machine learning, with AI. And obviously, you don't necessarily need to be sitting in a lot of data to do that. Okay. And note that AI is not only machine learning. Okay, so many times we there are 7 or 8 AI challenges, and machine learning just learning is just one of them. Okay, so but the, the question of the prior idea of it's prior concept of that many people have, that you have to have a lot of data to benefit on AI prior to go there. It's not true. Okay, so for instance, I can give you some examples from projects I worked in the past. Such examples would be, for instance, automated vehicle and traffic control in large mass transit networks. Okay, such as subways. Okay, so to ensure service reliability, okay, that the service is able, for instance, to maintain a certain frequency, you can deploy control actions on the vehicles. Okay, so they slow down, or they drive a little bit faster, or they even skip a stop. And these adherence, they help us to reduce operational costs, because they have sometimes they have KPI based contracts, where if they don't present some sort of quality on their service, they have penalties, right? So this type of application just requires real-time data. Okay, most of the time. So what is, to my knowledge, that is more common on these control systems. We have real-time data about the positioning of the vehicles. Okay, then you have a control system running centrally and recommending what the vehicles should do, and what the joints of the platforms, of the rail platforms, should do. Obviously, this enhances the role of the human controller, as you don't need so many human controllers, and they don't, even if you have those, it's not economically feasible to have one that can be constantly looking to every single vehicle. Okay, so, and you don't need necessarily to sit on a large bunch of historical data to do this. Okay, although this bench would help, obviously, if you had it. Another example can come at airports, right? Airports are facilities that hold virtually zero data, but which have an activity that's very time consuming, and which includes a lot of expenses in terms of the human labor they require to function, which are the security scans. Okay, and obviously security scans can benefit of AI, and they are already benefiting of AI image recognition, detection of terrorists, even X-rays, heat detection. This is done all done with images, and again, it's live feed. You can already buy these systems, and you don't need to be sitting on a bunch of data to have them. Okay. This reduces both operational costs, it reduces the cost of human labor, you don't need to have so many, and that also increases the customer experience, that makes the security scans faster, okay, and less painful, right? So these are two examples. I could have many more for you to show that this is not necessarily the way. Now, if you ask me about personalization, okay, about how or so how about the recommendation of products or even credit underwriting. So obviously there are some areas on predictive analytics, which historical data it's very important. And this strategy that how you collect, store, and process this data, and the loop of improving and keep improving your systems, it's crucial. Okay, but I wouldn't say that I wouldn't just limit it to big companies with tons and lots of data. I think that's not true. So, courage. First thing I would say, don't give up. So the thing is, AI is a vast field. Okay, I think it's important that you don't try to understand it all. Okay, focus on the problem formulation and on the strategy rather than the techniques that actually exist to solve these problems. Okay, so questions like questions that are essential for you to know how to answer is which data do I have, which data can I use, and how, which insights can I draw from such data potentially, and then okay, you can look into automate such knowledge discovery. Let's say this way. Start by using your strengths on knowing the business you are into to identify high impact use cases, and then go go focus on those. Okay, then when you focus on those and you can understand how the data that exists on your organization already or that you plan to collect on your organization can help these use cases, only then deep dive on the technical solutions if you really want to get your hands dirty. Okay. But if you are in industry, I would always look on starting by your own strengths, and start on understanding the data that is around you before start going around with reading everything about deep learning, random forest, XGBoost. That doesn't allow you to immediately, of course, to give the jump and add the value that you want to your organization with AI. So, the most valuable use cases for AI. This varies a lot from business vertical to vertical, but there are a few obvious candidates. I will enumerate for what I see in the industry. So, obviously, first, predictive analytics. So, will this customer buy this product, or questions like will this customer default if it is we give him a loan, or which will be our sales figures for the next 2 weeks, or even is this transaction a legit transaction or is it fraud. I think these are predictive analytics are, or even predictive maintenance, okay, in automation and in smart factory in general. But I believe this is something that is crucial, and obviously personalization and recommendation is something crucial as well. So answer questions like, if customer X likes product Y, so is likely to like product Z as well. Okay, this is very strong in retail, and it's a classic business. So there are n business plans which try to have a product bait to you that seems with an unbeatable price, or sometimes an impossible price, that is made to attract you, for you then gather the customer and cross sell it to him what you actually want to sell, right? So, but there are also other emerging use cases of image recognition, of course, happening in healthcare, helping on diagnosis, or security scanners in airports that I already talked about, or even in autonomous driving. Also, natural language processing and natural language understanding now with smart homes, but also on entertainment industry. For example, I'm thinking about subtitles, automated subtitles from videos, but obviously also on customer care. Okay, they have these NLP bots that can help you go find your way on a website, or on even now how to work on a specific product. And finally, I think about also advertisement as well. So marketing campaigns, media, what to show, what type of ad to show, how to modify an ad to this specific customer, how to reach. So do we have some automated generated variants of your ads depending on your customer? That I think it's very powerful as well. There are some companies working on that. And finally, I think AI itself. It's AI for AI. AI itself, it's also a strong application, emerging application, emerging use case to grant interpretability. Okay, perhaps this is not something nowadays much valuable in terms of profit, but it is something that I see as an acceleration for trust, because it gives ability to humans understand how the machines are deciding. And if it is an accelerator from trust, it will be accelerator for adoption. So I put it here on this list. So I believe these areas. So first, predictive analytics recommendation, that are something that is already very strong today, and these 3 or 4 cases on image recognition, NLP, advertisement, and interpretability as emerging areas that will be very, very, very strong in the near future. Well, again, the market, it's a vague term, right? So naturally, I see the need of, we have more data engineers and AI scientists in the job market, if I want to be more specific, and I need the need to more come into play. And there are some studies that point out that more data engineers and data science will come in the next 5 years, with a lot of master programs being created and reformulated to address such demand. But I also foresee the emergence of two novel figures, or two novel job roles, which are, one is the AI strategist, and the second is the AI product owner. And now I will explain you what these two guys will do, or should do on your organization, in my perspective. So the AI strategist will decide on the roadmap for AI in his organization. Okay, and this person has to be knowledgeable, but not necessarily hands-on on technology. first. And also on the company's data. So to understand what can be done, okay, realistically speaking. But at the same time, he has to have a strong grasp of business sense to understand how we can maximize the short-term impact of of the data that you are collecting and the AI system they are developing, and how to maximize adoption and control the investment cycles. Okay, so this is a new type of high profile management figure. Uh, there is also this many people call it the chief scientific officer or chief data officer, chief AI officer. I don't like particularly any of these terms because I think they are either overrating or underrating what you need to do. But so I prefer AI strategist. Okay, to define this position. And the second, the AI product owner, is a guy that typically has some technical background, but above all, it's a great communicator that helps to align priorities between multiple teams that are involved on the development and rollout of an AI product. And this is why this guy is different from a classic product owner. Is this guy and must have understanding of what implies the AI development cycle. So this is there are many people. This brings up the discussion of uh, how to manage teams in the space of data science, and of course there are different ways. Personally, I love agile, but I recognize that agile in software engineering and agile on data science may not quite mean the same thing. And this person has to really understand this, really understand what is development cycle of an AI tool or a machine learning tool. Um, and obviously this can be a product owner reconverted with experience in product ownership, reconverted into AI product owner, but he must understand this. Okay, not necessarily have the technical background to do such development, but to understand the most relevant points, the pain points as well, and how the empirical and try and error many times nature of data science job, which is quite not like in software engineering where you have as assignment which is very closed, and we have a few story points to do it. Sometimes data science you have a problem that should be done in 1 or 2 days but actually takes 5 to tackle, and this is normal. Okay, so these persons must understand in order to communicate with teams to keep them uh, the more possible focus on their work and extracting their best in terms of value for the company. They must understand how the nature of the work. Nowadays, these roles are assigned to ex-data scientists, on another extreme to pure MBA-like managers, and both end up struggling to having the big picture necessarily to deliver with reasonable timelines, resource usage, and quality standard where they are required from the top management. Okay, so here I really see the need of creating these figures and the companies to understand what this figure can do for them, and the people specializing on going to such roles. Looking into market more in terms of businesses. Okay, I also expand the trend of evolve or die in some businesses, in particular in retail, banking, and automotive. Okay, the companies with the big balance sheets are always likely to hold for longer, even if they don't evolve. But local, mid-sized, regional players really need to keep up with the pace in this race. Um, otherwise they will die one way or another. So it's important to accept that AI era is here, and my friends, it came to stay.